Hi everyone, this is Devlina welcoming you all to another action packed episode of Icons Behind Brand video interview series Simplifying Martech. And today we have with us Mrs. Maya Venkatesh, who is a managing director of Affinity Answers for Asia Pacific and is a multifaceted leader. With over 25 years of experience, she has held various senior leadership roles and handled India operations for premier MNCs including Symphony Services and Ford. She also mentors women to grow into leadership roles through her associates with Jobs for Her. She currently heads the EPEC operations for Affinity Answers and is also responsible for the business development in these growth markets. And it is lovely to have you on board here, Maya.
Thanks so much, Devlina. It's an absolute pleasure, and thanks for the lovely introduction as well.
We are glad to have you here, Maya, and I'm just curious to know about your journey and background. You have worked in companies like Symphony, Ford, and now you are heading the operations here in Affinity Answers. So, would love to know about your journey and what is your background.
Sure. So, Devlina, actually, like I said, my career spans over 25 plus years. I am a cost accountant by education. Okay, and I started off with the usual finance jobs that cost accountants and chartered accountants do, right? Managing accounts in various companies. I even worked with a finance firm in the early stages of my career. My real, corporate career, I would say, breakthrough came in when I joined Ford. I joined the PR team initially, and this was when Ford came to India, to launch the Icon. That was the first car that they launched in India, and that's when I worked with them. Again, in the PR team, so managing some of the PR activity as well as handling the accounts of that vertical. Then, as I progressed in my career in Ford, I was with them for almost, I think, 8 years. I moved into Ford Business Services Center, where we were servicing clients from Ford of Europe, Ford worldwide. And as part of that is when I started really exploring handling operations, and I traveled to several Ford locations across the world to kind of learn in terms of processes, and back office process management as well. From Ford, I moved to Bangalore because my husband was a banker, and he used to obviously get transferred. And that's when I, worked with Accenture for a brief while, then joined Symphony Services. So that was really my first foray into, a software development organization, right? Because till then, I'd always worked on finance. And again, I joined them to really, look at setting up an entire, service team for their expense management solution. So it was about understanding the solution, creating a SaaS model around it as to what services can be provided to clients when we say, expense management as a workflow. And then, I was kind of instrumental in growing the team. It started with a 5-member team, and it grew to 500 plus, in the span that I was with them. So that was a real, learning experience, I would say, where I also kind of, while earlier R&D really meant only research and development to me, but actually managing even R&D teams, I kind of started understanding, technology as well. From there, I was managing 3 business units in Symphony Teleca, and one of them was acquired by a NASDAQ listed company named Tango. So
Okay.
I moved there as their India head.
Mhm.
That gave me the exposure of really understanding how to, set up an organization from scratch. Uh, you know, Putting together the support functions, taking day-to-day decisions on a lot of things which kind of just get thrown at you because you're kind of, responsible for the entire center, be it, the people, be it delivery, be it, statutory compliances, and
Mhm.
so on. Uh, so with all this, about 20 plus years of working, I decided to take a short break as well. And, I was doing a lot of consulting assignments. And that's when, about three and a half years back, I happened to meet our CEO, the current company where I work, Affinity Answers. We are a data science company. Again, it was a completely new area for me. And when I was asked if I would like to join them and kind of not only manage their India operations, but also take on the role of business development, to start with India, and then go on to handling the whole of APAC.
Mhm.
Been 3 years with them, a lot of learning, and I guess that's why I'm here as well, right? I mean, you're talking to me on marketing
Right.
today, and it's been a good time. I am on the India Board of Directors as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's been a nice long career. I wouldn't say there weren't any challenges. I mean, challenges are part of any, challenges are part of life, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But
Of
it's
course.
been a very fruitful innings, and along the way, obviously, I've had good managers. The journey has been good, and in the same way, today I do a lot of work with platforms like Jobs for Her Second
Mhm.
Innings,
Right.
where I really want to help women who have a lot of questions on how do I grow into a leadership role. This
Mhm.
is my aspiration. How do I fulfill it? Or as a woman, I feel that this is a challenge. How do I overcome it?
Mhm.
So I try to help out that way. And yeah, I mean, that's been my journey in a nutshell.
Wow. Super interesting to know. I mean, 25 years of long experience, starting from somewhere in, going through with so many different roles in different domains, different companies. And now here you are, you're heading a company in, I mean, the role is such a huge role, and yeah. So would love to know about your current company, Maya. Would love to know about Affinity Answers, what exactly it is.
Yeah, so Affinity Answers, we are a data solutions and services company, okay? And we really cater to behavioral intelligence for the customer obsessed, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we help customers, rather marketers, we help marketers to really understand human behavior, because we
Mm-hmm.
believe that behavior is really the mirror, the true likes and dislikes of a person. And once you understand human behavior and know your customer, you can market effectively to them. You can better segment your audience, you can
Mm-hmm.
better target your audience, and you can also target them with a lot of relevance, right?
That's right.
And to know this, we begin with social media.
Okay.
We Affinity Answers is really the largest continuous study of people engagement behavior on social media platforms. And when I say social media platforms, it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are the only social data provider that actually provides access to insights across all these 4 platforms.
Okay.
And how does this help? It helps marketers to better understand consumer behavior, right?
Okay.
And once we have an in-house patented model called the True
Mm-hmm.
Affinity Data Graph, which primarily gets its learnings from the social engagement data, or rather human behavior. It understands human behavior and behavioral patterns, and then it can be applied to any data set to enrich it with a whole range of attributes. So how does this help a marketer? It
Yes.
helps, we help them to find their next new customer, right?
Okay.
We are able to predict not only current purchase intent, but also future purchase interest as well as intent. So that's what I mean when I say that, we help you find your next new customer. We help marketers to also, perform good conquesting strategies. Right? How do I target my competitors' loyalists effectively so that they can switch over to my brand if targeted in the right manner. Thirdly, how do we help marketers to amplify their sponsorships that they're using currently today? When we give them a lot of insights into their fan behavior, right? Their loyalists, their customer, this is the behavioral patterns that they exhibit, then they're able to target them with much more relevance and with an expanded reach. Our USP, I would say, is really, the brand level data that we are able to give. So while most marketing strategies, right, are primarily based on demographics.
Right.
If you're running a campaign, I'm sure you have an agency and you're running it,
Yes.
you would be well aware. You suppose you want to really launch a new lipstick, right? And typically the strategy would be, let's target women in the age group, 20 to 55 or 60.
Yeah.
But purely you go by demographics, right? But really, if it's a mineral based lipstick that you're trying to sell, and if you are able to get insights about people who are interested in mineral based cosmetics, who are really interested in environment friendly products, right? Where you go beyond demographics and really do behavior based targeting, then you definitely get a better ROI on your marketing spend.
That's right.
That's what Affinity Answers does. We are a global company in existence for close to 11-12 years. Highly successful in North America. That's where we started off. We are a US based MNC.
So it's all about understanding the behavior of the target customer for the marketers.
Yes.
Target customer is marketer, any marketing team, and this is going to help the marketing team to understand the behavioral pattern of any consumer, right?
Yes.
And so amazing to know about this, and would love to know more about this a lot in the future. And so technology in marketing. Now we know that we have a huge role of technology in marketing to understand the behavior, to know the demographics, analytics, and all these things. So how are you seeing the technology in marketing that influence the way marketers and brands that they run the marketing campaigns today?
Yeah, Affinity Answers, really technology, I think, influences everything today, right? It influences even our day-to-day life. So what is it, what is the influence in marketing? I think marketing today is a lot data-driven, right? Especially with the shift towards, digital marketing, and most people, being online, and us also studying people's behavior online. Right? So as you can see, there's been a real evolution in terms of how data is playing a major role in marketing, right?
Yes.
Actually, data, I think it drives better understanding of consumers. How do you get more insights about your customers from data and use that to plan your media strategy, right? I think data is the core of all technology in marketing today. Of course, we do have, with the Internet of Things coming in, blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, there's a lot of technology that has evolved today, right? In fact, our model, which I was talking about, the True Affinity model, it works pretty much like a recommender engine. Okay, like just like that of a Netflix or an Amazon, right?
Right, right. And that gives you a lot more maturity to strategize your marketing campaign for the right customers.
And then, when you do that, you obviously get, you're able to track as well as monitor whether, how your KPIs are performing. Are you getting a better return on your ad spend, right? Is your cost per lead lesser?
Right.
And so on, right? So that's again the analytics part of technology, which gives you that advantage.
That's right. And you you tend to plan a lot more better than, without an analytics. To you, how do marketer should balance between experimenting with the new technologies versus investing in better adoption from the technologies that you already have in place?
Okay, you know what? This is a very tricky question to answer. Honestly, I think the existing technology itself, right? We have not really explored it to the fullest. We are still scratching the surface. If you see, when we started exploring the market for programmatic, in India and in the APAC region, what I found was that Australia, New Zealand is pretty evolved in terms of use of programmatic, in terms of use of marketing technology, right? A lot similar to the US. But if you see countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, India also to a certain extent, they were still just exploring programmatic. People say we do digital marketing, right? When we talk to a lot of marketers, agencies, we do digital marketing, but it's primarily search marketing, right? It's SEO, SEM. I do ads, right?
Yes.
But really, how evolved are we in terms of using programmatic as part of our digital marketing strategy?
A lot to explore in the side of technology and in the side of marketing here. We have a lot to explore in future here, right? So Maya, how do you see the customer mindset has changed in the last 5 years, and how are you reaching out to your target customers right now?
Okay, so you know what? In the last 5 years, I think we have evolved from a linear retail-focused model to today's, iterative, digital-centric model of consumer behavior. Right? And because of the pandemic, it has affected all the businesses. Right? Earlier, you used to have physical events where you're attending conferences. You are attending concerts, sporting events. Today, none of that is happening, right? But how do you still keep the customer engaged despite people being indoors? So now there is a major shift into, like I mentioned, digital marketing, right? And it is very important for digital marketers to adapt and transform themselves. So how do you transform yourself? You need to really drive that demand to keep your business alive, right? So still going to say that, no, you know what, I'm really not so experienced with the digital marketing. I'll still go with the traditional marketing methods. It may not really yield you results because people, the industry has shifted a bit. And today, when we talk to marketers as well, we hear a lot of them saying that, of our ad spend, a significant portion is now being apportioned to programmatic and digital marketing.
So, and especially in the last 2 years, we have seen the digital adoption that has taken a huge shift. As you were mentioning that the offline marketing budget that has been shifted. So I have spoken to a lot of marketing heads and CMOs in the platform, and that is how I have concluded this as well, that a huge chunk of budget has shifted towards the digital marketing, and the focus is more into exploring the programmatic ads and the AI into marketing, and how we can get into more specifics and more into the targeting of the customers. So yeah, that's a huge shift we have seen, and maybe by force, but yeah, that has shifted now, and yeah, we have understood the power of digital. At the same time, it's a nice mix and match of digital, and now the new term is physical
Yes, as well as
what do you say, medias and the digital as well, right? So here, how do you ensure the client retention?
see, retention, right, is a, even if you talk about employee retention, you talk about customer retention, it's all about the experience you provide,
That's right.
right? As an employee, if you experience good things in a company, you tend to stick and stay loyal to them. Similarly, as a client, if you get good service, you see that your strategies are aligned with your data provider, in this case Affinity Answers, then that's the best that can happen. So I think just like I said, a marketer needs to understand human behavior and then target people effectively. In the same manner, we understand client behavior, we understand their needs, what do they want. When we talk to prospects, right, we say, okay, what is the challenge that you are looking to overcome in your marketing strategy, right? And then we tailor the solutions according to their need.
Right.
So that's our strategy for retention.
I think understanding the customers, and as you said, that the experience matters a lot. I mean, what experience the customer is carrying with themselves for you. So I think that is a very major ingredients towards retention of any customers and employees as well, like any kind of retention.
Yes, I think a perfect recipe for success.
That's right. So Maya, you have worked with various brands like Ford, Symphony, Teleca in past. So what are some of the learnings from all these very different organizations you have been associated with, you would like to share with us?
Absolutely. You know what? Every day is a learning. Okay, be it with Ford, be it with Symphony Teleca, be it with Affinity Answers, right? And I think over the years, right, if I have to really think of what did I learn from each organization, I think at Ford, I really learned how to have good processes, right? Process always helps along with people, right? If you have the right processes in place, things will continue to work like clockwork. And that's very important for operations, for an operations-based organization. That's very, very important, right? If you have your processes set in place, everything works pretty smoothly. And of course, the people angle. I think with Symphony Teleca, what I learned is, I really learned how to manage very large, diverse teams. At Ford, yes, I was a team lead. I started off with them as a team lead, and I had obviously a smaller team. A smaller team, you can be really engaged constantly, right? Because they're all sitting around you. Their desks are around you. You can talk to them. You can kind of discuss a lot of things with them. When you go on to manage very large teams, right, there are a lot of things involved. So in Symphony, when I grew my team from a 5-member team to a 500-member GOC, or Global Operations Center as it was called, it was a huge, diverse team. Right? So it's not possible for you to really engage with all 500 of them on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
And a lot of the time you'll see that, on a regular basis, you're dealing with a lot of, people issues, right? Because it's a diverse team. There are a lot of delivery escalations happening. You manage escalations, you manage delivery, you manage your people, right? So that multitasking, and you said in the beginning that I'm a multifaceted leader. So I think I learned being multifaceted there. So I think those have been my learnings over the years. Like I said, I'm still learning, right? So
Yes. Life is a learning process, and
yeah.
learning adds a lot of excitement in for life, otherwise it's dull, as you said. And with that, Maya, we are just moving to a little lighter section of the episode. So it's a
Okay.
fire round, pretty interesting, where you need to answer in one word, but you can use as minimum as possible. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
tell me something which nobody knows about you, Maya.
Okay. I think I'm pursuing, Bharatnatyam. I'm learning Bharatnatyam, and I started at the age of 48.
Wow, that's super inspiring. So
Yes.
describe yourself in 3 words.
In 3 words: creative, inquisitive, go-getter.
Oh, wow. So who is the social media influencer who is just absolutely killing it right now? The social media influence is, there are a lot of
If you
influence.
talk about social media influencers, right? I think based on, obviously this is all based on number of followers. If you see Virat Kohli, I think is on the top, right? In terms of social media influencers. Personally, for me, I think Shilpa Shetty is the person I follow, as well as Twinkle Khanna. I read her sections of Mrs. Funny Bones.
If you could go to anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Alaska.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Superhero, okay, you know what? From my times, I think we had like Superman, Spider-Man. For me, Spider-Man.
What's your favorite hobby?
I have quite a few hobbies, but I would say, singing.
What is that one thing that annoys you the most?
I think dishonesty.
Right. So what is that one thing every online brand should do?
Know your customer.
So nice answers, Maya. A lot to learn from it, and we are out of the rapid fire round now. And before
Okay.
end, I would like you to give us a message to our aspiring startup owners, startup owners who are looking for marketing. So what would be your message for them?
So I think for startup marketers, there's really a tough challenge ahead, right? Because they are dealing with challenges of running their startup, employing the right people, getting the necessary funding, in cases
That's
where
right.
funding. So they have a lot of things playing on their mind, and they have a very short window for success, right? They have a very short time where they have to put all this together to really succeed. And that's where, building the brand becomes very important. So I would say, build your brand, go all out. Okay, go all out. Don't think marketing is secondary. Okay, let me first have a good product. Let me, have a good team. Let me, set up everything, and then I will worry about marketing. No, marketing has to start from day one, because as you're growing this, your brand also grows, right? So investing in the right marketing tools and technologies, go all out, explore multiple avenues of marketing, right? Offline, online. Okay, maybe your budgets may be slightly lower, you're more on marketing, digital marketing. Yeah, explore multiple avenues. Don't focus only on one avenue for advertising or marketing, right?
That was a strong advice, Maya, for any startup leaders, because how you said they are very busy, small teams, and you have certain goals, vision, and at the same time you have to raise funds. And this is what the brand building is, something which any startup should focus. I mean, that should not get avoided. amazing insights. And I mean, there are so many things to learn from this small conversation, and I'm just looking forward to have more conversation with you, Maya. I mean, I have planned a lot for Icons Behind Brand, and would love you to come and come as a mentor and guide the audience for multiple things. Okay, so we will reach out to you for that as well. And thank you for your time from your busy schedule and coming here on Icons Behind Brand.